Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Juliet McNeil Crafts. So today I was going to do a little bit of watercolour painting looking at some colour theory. Basically because I have said I don't know how many times on this channel that when I get a new product I always buy the three primary colours. So I will always go for a magenta, a kind of bright blue like a cyan blue, and a yellow, because from that you can make all other colours. And I've said that loads of times on this channel because I am a bit of a magpie when it comes to colouring products and I want it all. So for me that's the way I test it. I will order the three colours in that particular product, and if I like it I'll buy more. So these are a recent purchase of mine. These are the paints from Floating Marshmallows. The lovely Dora makes these. And I have to say they're a new favourite. I have to apologise for my voice today as well. I have the cold, and so that is not really helping matters much. So, if you think about, I know I've said this before, if you think about your printer, you tend to have a yellow, a magenta, a cyan blue and a black, and from that you get most or all of your colours. And that is basic colour theory. So, I mean, I am a magpie when it comes to colours. I have loads of colouring products. I have some colouring products where I've got every single colour in the range. So I'm not saying don't go out and buy them. But sometimes just understanding a little bit of colour theory can make what you've got go a bit further. And as I said, for me, this is how I dip my toe in the water. So when Distress Oxides came out, I bought the basic primary colours, and that started my collection. Since then I've bought a lot more. So I just thought I would actually demonstrate what I mean. I know a lot of you will already know this. I'm not doing complicated colour theory here, just basic stuff. It's the sort of stuff that we learn in school, that yellow and red makes orange and blue and red makes purple, that sort of thing. So that's all I'm going to cover today. Now I'm kind of rushing a little bit and that paper's quite wet, so it's bleeding over a little bit. But the advantage of watercolour is we can just pick it up. So that is me there, got my three basic colours. Now I'm going to let that dry and we will do a little bit of colour mixing. Okay, so the colours that I'm using today are Blossom, Ocean in a Bottle and Sunbeam, and as I said, these are from Floating Marshmallows. These are a new find for me. I've literally just discovered them. I ordered one lot of paints and did a review, which you may have seen, and I've since ordered more because they are just lovely. So what we've done here is I have taken the Blossom. Okay, so we have that there. These are vegan paints, by the way, if everybody is interested, and they also smell amazing. They are just the most incredible thing, and Dora does this very much like from my house to yours sort of thing. They are so beautifully packaged. They come, oh, they're just beautiful, and she puts so much thought and effort into it. So, there we go. There's us got our red and yellow, and now we have made orange. So we're going to do the same again. We're going to get the Blossom, and I tend to find that if you go for a magenta rather than a red, because I know the traditional colours are sort of like red, yellow and blue, aren't they? But again, you think of your printer, it's more of a magenta than a red. Sorry, my brain's not working. I am dozed up on Lemsip and all sorts. So that's why I'm not quite speaking properly. So this is me now, got my red and my blue, and that has made a purple. Okay. And then finally I am going to take a blue. So this is my Ocean in a Bottle. Okay, and a yellow, which is Sunbeam. And we are going to make a green. Okay. So that is your primary and secondary colours. Okay, now then you can get a tertiary colour where you mix a primary colour with a secondary colour. Okay, so for example, we have here the purple and the pink. So I've got my purple still on my mat there. So what I'm going to do now is if I grab that magenta, grab the blossom, so I'm now going to add that primary colour to that secondary colour. Okay, and now we're going to end up with a more kind of cerise sort of colour. So we've still got, it's more pink than purple because we've increased the amount of pink in that particular mix. Okay, so if I take my purple again, I'll take my basic purple. So that's my magenta and my blue, that's the purple. So now there we've got a more pinky purple, we've got a more mauve, like a pinky cerise purple there. So now if we take the secondary colour and mix it with this primary colour, so this time we're increasing the amount of blue that's in this purple. So this is where we're going to get a more mauve colour. So we put that in there. Okay, and so now we have that tertiary colour there. And then we continue to do that same thing around the colour wheel. So from green we then get our chartreuse or olive green by doing that, by mixing the primary. So we mix the primary, the secondary, and we end up with a tertiary. So I'm just going to finish the rest of that off camera. Okay, so that's me finished the colour wheel. And it's worth doing this. If you're not familiar with your colour wheel and your colour theory, you don't have to make it complicated, but just doing something like this, but treating yourself to 3 colours of something, just doing something like this, and then having that there, it just shows you what you can do, and then that's there to refer to. Now, I mentioned your printers also tend to have black. That's where you're going to get your tonal value. So I don't have a black in this particular brand of paint. That will be coming. Mainly because I do have quite a few blacks, so if I'm treating myself to a new brand. So let me see, I've got a purple here, so that's this one. So this is where, sorry, that's this one. So this is where I've mixed my blue and the purple together, and then I've kind of ended up with this mauve colour. So we've got this here. So I'm just going to swatch that along there. Okay, we don't need to worry about highlight because, especially with watercolour, let me just water that out. So we don't even particularly need a white. But I'm going to take a tiny bit of black and mix that to the mixture. And now we can see that we've got a more grey mauve. I'm going to take another bit and add it. And then what we can do is we will gradually change the tonal value. So that's where we get our tones. So let's try that with the pink, just so that we get a bit of an idea. So this is, I think this is just the pink on its own. So this is Blossom. Now, the really cool thing about these paints is Dora is having a sale just now. So between today, I think it started yesterday, between today and the 20th, she's got 20% off. And then if you leave her a review, you will then get a discount voucher that will then give you 30% off. Now, I've gone quite heavy-handed with the black in there. So let's just lighten that a little bit. We'll just put a tiny bit of black and I'll put that in between. So there we go, we can see that is just the primary colour and gradually adding different blacks. That is a tertiary colour and we have that. So just to refresh that, we've got our primary colours here, which is our yellow, red and blue. Then we mix blue and yellow together for green. Then if we want to mix our tertiary colours, we take our primary colour, our secondary colour that we've created and mix them together and we get our tertiary colour. And then we can get tones from just adding black. So that's basic colour theory. It's worth just having a play with what you've got. You don't need a lot to get started. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let's apply this in real life. So I've got a little image that I've printed off and we'll paint that together. Right, so I'm actually going to, let's go for a skin colour. So we're going to take our yellow, our primary yellow, and we are going to mix it with a little bit of pink, which we're like, eek, that's orange, that's fine. Now that's our secondary colour. Let's add a bit more yellow so that we soften that down. And then what we do is we just are going to get that really nice and watery. And now we have a skin tone. So I know for myself that, we can get a skin tone out of these colours. I just maybe need to wet that a little bit. And, sorry, it's just because it's, I've made it so watery that we've barely got pigment on there, so I'll go on to her. So sometimes we can think, oh, you know, I need a skin tone. You can make a skin tone from the primary colours. I know you look at it and think, oh man, they're really bright, I'll never get a nice pale, realistic skin colour there. So skin has multiple tones. Now, I have printed this off my printer, so it's going to bleed ever so slightly. What I would normally do is print it slightly, dilute the transparency a bit. So that's me got the peachy tones, but we just, if you think about it, we have, we've not covered that, but if you mix your yellow, your magenta and your blue in equal quantities, we get brown. I've obviously not quite done that in equal quantities there, so we've got brown. Okay, so what we need to do then is just to take the tiniest amount of blue and enter it into this. Okay, now we can create the shadows a little bit with this colour here. Right. I've got my paints too watery, sorry about that. So I'm just going to create, so as you can see I've got a beautiful copper there. I'm not going into that, I am just using my primary colours. And I'm going to do this whole painting just using those primary colours. So now I've got that slightly darker shade, we've got that, it's almost brown but not quite, because I've not gone really, really heavy handed with the blue. And so because of that we have got a nice skin tone there with that. Now this is Cosmopoly from my latest range, so I'm just going to let her dry off a little bit on her skin tone. So let's work on something else. I think she'd be quite cute with some, we'll have some fun pink hair. Okay. Oops. So I'm going to go in there with pink, and then what we'll do is this time I'm just putting the primary colour straight down on there. Okay, but what I'm going to do is mix on the paper. So instead of mixing on the palette, I'm going to mix on the paper. So it's like experimenting with different things. So now I've got my yellow, so we are going to get touches of orange as we do this, as it sort of blends out. So now I'm going to just grab that yellow and just do little strokes and almost create little highlights of that, like so. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because painting does tend to take a while, is hopefully that's covered the basic of the colour theory. I'm going to carry and do the rest of this on speed up. Okay, if you have any questions that you don't feel I've covered, please put it in the comments below and I'll create another video to do that. Okay. Okay, so that's me finished my little girl. That's Cosmopoly all done up. Now this is a very iridescent paint, so I mean look at that, that's amazing. Now these paints are vegan, they smell divine, they are on offer, I love them. They are going to be my new favourite thing, I know it. as I said, I've already been back and ordered more, and I have a little surprise for you coming soon, so yeah, keep tuned for that. But what I'm trying to show, I have got a really pale, delicate colours in there, and that has been made using just those 3 colours. So I really would say it's worth at least doing this. You don't have to go into colour theory in great depth and understand everything, but a basic knowledge of the colour wheel, and it means you can create the most beautiful artwork just having that basic knowledge. And also, when there's so many craft products on the market, there are so many types of paints and colouring products. I know, I've got loads of them and I still want more. I'm a magpie when it comes to colours, but if you're not sure if you want that particular brand or not, just buy 3. Buy these 3 primary colours, have a play, you'll know from that whether this is a product that you want to invest more of your money in or not. So I hope you find this video useful. If you have, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.